Fight, fight, fight for their precious dreams and their cherished freedoms. And in friendship and really a beautiful vision, let us all work together to build a bright, beautiful planet, a planet that we all share, a planet of peace and a world that is richer, better, and more beautiful than ever before. That can happen. It will happen. It will happen, and I hope it can happen and start right now, right at this moment. We'll turn it around. We're going to make our countries better, safer, more beautiful. We're going to take care of our people. Thank you very much. It's been an honor. God bless the nations of the world. Thank you very much.
All right, folks, joining me now, the host of The Underground Economy on Fox Nation, Rosanna, Scotto, along with Republican strategist Katie Zacharia. Before we talk about this migration stuff and really long overdue reforms in there, Katie, I want to get your thoughts on what you heard from President Trump today. I mean, he's never, he never minces words, but he really took it to the UN and what these countries are doing wrong.
This speech was the most welcome speech I've heard in I don't even know how long, decades, to the UN. President Trump just eviscerated all of the policies that have gone wrong, not to mention the teleprompter and the escalator, but he really took it to them. And for so long, everyone's been relying on the United States to solve the world's problems. And he said, what have you done to solve Russia, Ukraine? What have you, no one in this room has been brokering peace like he has. So thank you, President Trump. Thank God we have this man in office.
Rosanna?
Well, I think he went after the United Nations, too.
Yeah.
It was a little uncomfortable considering, this is a time to kind of celebrate all the countries coming together. But I think he brought up some very interesting points. And let's face it, keeping jobs in America has always been his #1 priority. Right. He basically strong-armed, Apple and Google to bring their companies and their factories back to the United States. Now he wants to make sure that young people are being hired here too.
Right, and I love that you mentioned that. So, I talked a lot yesterday about this H-1B executive order, but it's not just that. There's another program called OPT. It's got 230,000 workers, right? It's 100% entry-level jobs, and the majority of the people there are spouses of foreign workers, and that's how they fill that up. And then there's another program, J1. Think about this. This is based on talent, and think about the unemployment level for high schoolers and college grads. I mean, secondary, au pairs, camp counselors, interns, summer work, these are jobs that are being given away, and it just doesn't make sense to me, Katie. Why shouldn't we be Why should we be intimidated by saying Americans should have those jobs? These aren't special jobs. These are entry-level jobs.
Right, and we had just a few months ago, Hillary Clinton was seen talking about how she was promoting the great replacement theory. So these two issues for the Democrat Party, one, we need to employ Americans first. In fact, our male working age is not employed. I think we're at like a 30% reduction of the typical male working staff member. And so we need to bring those numbers up, and we need to not replace them with non-Americans.
Babysitting, that was our first job.
Exactly.
I mean, now we call it an au pair because they're from out of town. But babysitting jobs, why shouldn't that stay right here?
It's nuts. It really is nuts. And it's always these wealthy folks who engage in this, right? I want to pick up on this on Sunday, right? And Erica Kirk, she talked about the idea of having children, being married, even if you can't afford it. It's something I've been talking about a long time. Now, there's a big plan out there, maybe having bonds to back marriage. I'm not sure about government involvement in this, but there's been a dramatic decline, Rosanna, and 30-year-olds who are both married and homeowners. I think they go hand in hand, right? I think household formation is something we need, not just spiritually, but economically.
Absolutely. A sustainability in the workforce. I think they say that every woman has to have over 2 kids to keep the workforce in a healthy place. I mean, the problem is, Charles, is that women are getting married later, and they're worried. They're worried about child care, how much it's going to cost, housing, how much it's going to cost. And
did you worry about that stuff?
You know what? I did, but I thought I was going to get through it. Right. But I look back at my parents. They had 4 kids by 25 years old, and I was like, they didn't think about it.
Right.
I think when you start later having children, you're just intellectualizing it too much.
Right. Katie?
Well, I had 4 kids in 6 years, and I figured we'd figure it out, and we are figuring it out, and we need to keep having children. Our nation needs to keep having children. And President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill actually did enshrine the child tax credit, and it's giving people a huge launch that we wouldn't have had if they hadn't passed the One Big Beautiful Bill.
Trump also went heavy after, windmills and the climate hysteria, and he talked about something I've talked about on this show, the unnecessary deaths from not having air conditioning in Europe. It's crazy. 10 times more people die there from lack of AC than die in America from guns. I mean, it just blows my mind. So 90% of Americans have air conditioning, and the number is like, what is it on my sheet here? Europe is 10%. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. You got to help me figure this one out. You go to Europe all the time.
I don't go to all the time, but I go there enough, and I realize that when I go,
you used to, but you sweat it out.
I have to tell you something. You have to go to sleep with no clothes on because it's so hot. The air conditioning is like...
You can't wear an outfit like this.
There's no way I'm going to be covered up to my neck, Charles. No way. But I'm going to just tell you, he also talked about a lot of this climate change stuff not working,
right,
falling apart, having to look for new parts, damaging the environment. And so he was really not high on it at all.
But it's suicidal. That's what it is. It's been economic and real suicide to go down this path. And maybe they'll see the light.
Well, when you have countries choosing energy that doesn't work and then having to buy energy from countries that are adversaries, for instance, Russia through Nord Stream 2 with Germany, then you create a whole host of new problems, like empowering a country to go to war with their neighboring country. You're literally financially backing that country because you are not energy independent.
So just 20 seconds left. Are you more confident now things are getting better?
Absolutely. Under President Trump, it's been, 9 months? It's been the most incredible 9 months I've seen.
How are you feeling?
I'm thinking Wall Street is a good way to take the temperature of the country, if
I like
not the
that.
world.
You're invited back anytime. Rosanna and Katie, thank you both very much.